Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. My sister is a Karen. I'm Jennifer, and this is my sister, Karen.
Hey everyone. This is the conversation that happens when you hear someone say, like, I have to go call my sister right now. The urgency, the unfilteredness, all of that stuff. So, welcome back.
Absolutely. Hey, your makeup looks nice. Is this new
It's,
eyeshadow or
well, like, it's not that old of it. It's that same Natasha Denona palette that I'm
obviously?
loving. Yeah. Mom commented and was like, oh, I like the way you kind of did. And I was like, well, yeah, I can't do the eyeliner wing. And before I was even done, like saying, yeah, I think, and she's like, I mean, it's not for me, but looks good on you.
I'm glad that she made her compliment to you about you actually about her.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Okay,
okay.
can we talk for just a minute about my situation with my podcast backdrop?
Yes.
So this is actually my office where when I work from home, this is where I work from home. You can't really see this backdrop when I'm at work on Zoom meetings. You can see like a little corner of it, but for the most part, you cannot see that backdrop. So I selected it because I felt like, it looked nice for the podcast. Plus, like it's not like it's a different backdrop than what I have for work. Well, my work is changing, as we've mentioned before on the podcast, and they've issued me a second monitor. Like I have a laptop for work. It's not what I record on, but I have a laptop for work, but they want me to have a second monitor, and the monitor is like
It
ruining
is
the
a
vibe.
monstrosity. It's
It is huge.
it ruins the whole vibe. Could they not have sent you a pink one?
Or just like smaller. Like honestly, I didn't even feel like I needed a second one. My new manager was like, "Do you have a second monitor?" I go, "No, I'm fine with one." Like I just have never been a person that worked off of two monitors. I know I'm working off a small screen. I don't care. It's been working for me for a really long time, so I didn't care. And she was like, "No, you really because I'll be doing a lot of presenting on like Teams calls and stuff where I'll have to share my screen, but also be able to see the reaction of the people who I'm presenting to." So she was like, "No, you've really got to have this second monitor." And so I was like, "Okay, well, I don't get to pick it." Like I feel like it's the size of a like basement TV for,
I
like
just was gonna say that I think that's like the size of the TV in Michael's bedroom.
yeah, so it's possible that there's another view of the office of my office that I could sit in front of. So maybe it's possible that my backdrop will change soon. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm sticking with this is all I got. But this is
It's
the
the three
three
sisters
sisters. Yes.
and
From our
Sedona.
yeah.
Yeah.
So other people don't realize, but like it's totally a sisters thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know if
let
mom
me
and
tell
dad
you.
know that I hung shit up on their walls, by the way.
Well, they do now because you just said it on the podcast. However, they don't really listen, so don't worry about that. This
Fine.
is like one of the reasons that we're always so impressed when we look at like YouTube or TikTok or, Spotify and we see
Yeah.
the amount of people that are actually listening to the entire episode or even just like looking at the reels and the whole thing. Part of the reason we're so impressed is like our family is not even listening to us.
Yeah.
Like
They
we have a
they checked
few.
out after like the 5 mini episodes. They were like,
Yeah.
oh now they're like an hour long.
Yeah. We have a few like very loyal friends who have been very good at listening to every single episode and like they even know when to expect a new episode. Like there's a couple of people like that. So we do have some friends that are like really, being supportive like that, but on it, our sister Megan listens
Yes.
and I think that's it. For people who we're related,
Yeah.
I think that's literally it. Our sister Megan. And quite frankly, she's got to listen because at some point she's in and she
Yes.
needs to know like the backstory. And
Yes.
Mike, quite frankly, our brother needs to be tuning in a little bit more too. But he did tell, I talked to him the other day and he said that he is listening a little bit, but he and his wife were getting ready to take a big road trip. And so they were probably going to listen while they were road tripping. I was like, I don't think we're good at like it's not something you binge. Okay. This is
Yeah.
not like this is not like
That's
Squid.
why that's why I had the face. I was like, I don't know if it's I mean, I get tired of if I have to listen to us like over and over. I'm like, I was there the first time. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, exactly. But shout out to our at least my kids also listen. So when I'm saying that no one that we're related to is listening, that's not entirely true. Our sister Megan, Mike is listening sometimes with his wife, and then my children are listening. Is Michael listening?
Well, he says he is, but this is what he goes, I mean, you talk a lot about menstruation, and I don't think we've ever used the word
We've
menstruation.
literally never used that word.
So I don't think he's really, I think maybe he sees some of this.
I'm
So
okay with that. I'm
yeah, I was, and when
okay
he
with that.
said it, he was like, I listen to it sometimes, but, and I was like, it was right after we had recorded the one where I talked about the cheesecake store. And I was like, oh, I just told the
Yeah.
awesome story. And he was kind of like, Mom, you're like, I'm so chuggy or cringy or whatever the
Yeah.
insult is these days.
Yeah. My kids laugh because they both have like a decent drive to work, and they laugh that they listen a lot of times in the car when they're driving to or from work, and they're like, "Well, it's sort of just like when you're on the phone with Aunt Karen in the living room and she's on speakerphone, like it's literally like that." So they're like, "We can listen and not even really tune in that much." And I'm like, "Okay, like thank you for being supportive."
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, but
Yeah.
that is what we decided we were going to do is
Yeah, that's
like,
what we said.
so good for us that we achieved that.
I know, exactly. My kids think it's literally sounds like us on the phone, which is what we tell everybody in the beginning of the
Yeah.
episode.
That's so funny.
Okay, so I know you have some stuff to tell me.
So
So
much. So
I want to read some text messages. Okay, so I want to give some background about this. So Karen, as we've mentioned in the past, Karen loves reality TV. Like just loves like a good like reality TV cat fight, like drama. The more dramatic, the better, and the more like outrageous, the better. So I
I
have
mean, like
been on
2010, 2012 Kardashians, not the Kardashians now that are like refined and shit like that.
no, no, you were watching when they were like waxing each other's vaginas. Like
Yes.
that's when
And I
you thought it was.
literally, when that episode was happening, I was calling Jennifer like, we're never going to be these sisters, but I have to tell you, this is what's happening.
And here's the thing, like I don't watch reality TV. One, I find it to be a vortex. Once you get sucked in, you cannot get out. Like it's a lot. And then I don't have the time. I also don't have the patience because I believe that a lot, maybe I'm wrong. You could totally correct me on this, but I think watching the reality TV show is not enough. You also have to follow what they're doing on social
Oh, for
media
sure.
and stuff like that because the rest of the story is being tweeted and put on reels and everything else. And so we just like it's just not like I don't have the patience for that, and it just in general it's just not my jam. But there's been a lot of commotion about the Mormon
Secret
housewives. What is the
Lives of
name?
Mormon Wives. Secret
Okay.
Lives of Mormon Wives.
Okay. So I have to have a coworker who is Mormon and lives in Utah. And this show really is like he's mentioned to me that like it's just like it's really hard because the Mormons already like kind of have a bad track record, and then like the show's out here, and it's just like getting to be a lot for him. And so we had talked about it, and I was like, I think it's really juicy, dude. Like I think it's really really juicy. So then stuff because TikTok can hear you. I start getting TikToks about like the Mormon show. So I text
So
Karen.
let's clarify, because you weren't getting like their TikToks. You were
You're
getting
right.
like the ones that were like every episode of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and it's like a dude with 6 different wigs that are
Yes.
hilarious, and we love those.
Yes. It was like influencers mimicking things that happen in the secret lives of the Mormon wives. It was like influencers like imitating this. So, and I'm like watching some of these TikToks and I'm like, what's happening here? So I swear this is a true text chain between Karen and I. I go, "Do you watch those Mormon wives shows?" She goes, "No, I watch true crime shit about Mormons and Lifetime movies." So then she goes, "Oh, these young moms started doing dances and stuff to empower themselves. Then it came out that there was swinging and stuff. And the original idea is actually cool. They're all in their 20s. And I love how they want to show cleavage and look sexy and dancing. I'm pretty sure I'm Team
There was a
Taylor."
verbal conversation in between that. 'Cause
You're
remember I
right. There
called
was a
you and I was like, "I'm literally watching a show called Mormon Mom Gone Wrong right now."
Yes. Yes. So we chatted, then and I was like, "I think I'm gonna need you to watch this show." And while I say that I really don't watch reality TV, there are times that I vicariously through Karen know exactly what is happening on some specific reality TV show. So I'm like, from the Mormon housewives, Karen's like, "Yes, she's a hot ass mess. I mean that with total respect
I
in
love her.
the best way, and her hair is full and stick straight." I go, "LOL." Then she's like, "There are cops and cuffs involved, and it's only episode 1. This is better than Surreal Life on VH1." I was literally like, "You're welcome." That's so I'm gonna let you take the wheel for a minute and go ahead because I've seen all the things about like the ketamine and like the sodas. Like they always have these like there's this one influencer that does a bunch of she did a TikTok. I wish I knew this girl's name because I want to credit her. She did a TikTok where she's in the car and she's got like I think two big gulps, but maybe just one. And she's like sucking on it. And then she's got the phone out like this, like on speakerphone. And she's like, "Look, I'm on my way home from the hospital. I just had the baby, but I need to know, were you swinging while I was, oh no, she said, did you have an orgy while I was in the, which is what prompted my texting and my phone call to Karen. Like, I'm gonna need some clarification here.
She's like, "I don't have the time and patience to watch this, but I need to get the highlights of the good shit."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. Okay, so first of all, Taylor, who was the one who started, so it all started with Taylor did started doing these mom talks, and it's very common in Mormon culture to get married very young. So these mom talks are like 22, 25-year-old totally hot moms, and they're like dancing and whatever, and so they became influencers. And then Taylor was posting about getting a divorce. And first of all, when she first started,
You froze.
also, like most of her TikToks
Go
were
go
essentially,
back and repeat. Hold on, Karen. Hold on.
yeah.
You got to go back. It froze. You got to go back. You said Taylor was posting about, and then it froze, and I didn't get anything that you said after that.
Okay. So she was posting just dances and whatever. And then she was posting about her divorce. She also,
She's
a
getting
lot,
divorced?
yes. And so and she gets trolled a ton. Like a ton of her
Yeah.
TikToks started out with people being like, "You're not a good Mormon mom with your titties hanging out." And then her response is like a dance where she's like, "These titties, whatever." Like, I love it because she just like trolls them right back. So then she's posting about getting a divorce, and people were trolling her and getting in other people's comments and whatever. And there was some rumors going around. So then she did a live thing. I'm not sure if it was on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but she did a live where she was like, "Yeah, there was some soft swinging going on. Let me explain what that is."
What is soft swinging?
So soft swinging is where you don't actually have intercourse and you only do it when your partner is present. There was a whole conversation where they were like, "So
Maybe I
it's not
shouldn't have
cheating
asked.
because it's not intercourse." And the one girl was like, "I mean, you're still sucking out someone else's dick."
Maybe I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah. So she basically just I told you she very much reminds me of myself. Like, she's kind of and she's just like, "You know what? If you guys are all going to talk about it and make assumptions, all right, yes, we were swinging. There was some stuff. A guy caught feelings for her. They were texting back and forth and things like this." She did not directly out anyone. She was like, "Yes, mom talk was involved." And then she kind of went back and was like, "No, it wasn't all people from mom talk." Because it really was like 3 or 4 couples that were doing this. But
Couples are in mom talk. Well, I know the couples are not in mom talk, but how many
it's
wives?
like 8 now,
Okay.
I think. But at that time, I'm not sure how many it was at that time, but 2 of them that were involved in the swinging are not really in it now. Like, there was 2 that used to do a ton of videos with Taylor, and oh my God, what have I just done? Sorry, I had a technical difficulty.
That's fine.
So people knew who they were from Mom Talk, but they're not on the reality show.
Oh,
So there
okay.
was this
Okay.
whole like swinger scandal thing all about the mom talk. And that's kind of what started the show. So they film the first episode and it's very messy. Like there's all this stuff between Taylor and Whitney. Whitney like left to like get away and whatever, like she moved to Hawaii and then came back to Utah 2 months later. All of them are the breadwinners in their family too. Like and it's just from influencing, like before they had
Really?
the reality show, they were the breadwinners from the one girl is supporting her husband through med school.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
off TikTok. I don't know.
As an influencer, interesting.
Yeah. So there's like all this. So like I started to tell you about like the Whitney Taylor thing where like they sit down to lunch and Taylor's like, I didn't know that you were moving back. As in, you bitch, you have not talked to me and given me this. And Whitney was like, I just didn't think like I can't remember her exact response, but she's essentially like, I didn't think I needed to tell you. Like it's fine. And I mean, again, it's mostly like the oldest is 31 or 32. The
Have they been
youngest
doing this? Like the TikTok part of it?
started in like only it started in like 2022, I think. So not super long.
No.
But I mean enough that they, have fans and got a reality show out of it. So there's all this stuff and then Taylor is like and you totally figure out like why she's such a mess and why she is the way she is. This poor girl, I'm like, she just wants to be loved. She doesn't, and she's young. She's like 28,
Yeah.
29,
Yeah.
she gets the cops called on her and they're not supposed to drink either. They can't drink alcohol
Right.
or do
Right.
drugs. Weirdly, so the soda thing is because they're not supposed to drink coffee. So that's why they drink.
Are supposed to drink caffeine, but
I
interesting.
thought that as well, but apparently it's just coffee.
And the soda thing, like, you were texting because I was like, what is the deal with the soda situation? And you were like, oh my God, they do this whole soda concoction with like all
There's
these
a whole
different.
like chain of soda stores called Swig now.
We don't have Swig. We have a different one here, and it's a Mormon owned soda franchise.
Yeah.
It's not called Swig, it's called something else, and it's actually like there's one not far from my house. It's next door to my chiropractor's office. I've never gone in, but because I'm not big on soda, especially like I
I
mean, if I'm
don't
gonna
know.
drink soda, I drink Dr. Pepper, but
Yeah. So the sodas are crazy because they like go in and they're like, I want 1 pump of vanilla, sugar-free vanilla, 1 pump of sugar-free raspberry syrup, and blah, 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 and coconut cream added. And I'm like, I don't like, this does not sound like.
told you it sounds like a suicide. Remember when we were
Yes,
young?
it
Our
does.
parents didn't let us, but if we went home with other people, like after like a soccer game on a Saturday or something, if we went home with other families, if they stopped at like 7-Eleven or Quick Trip, we would
You
we
got a
would
little bit
make
out of
ourselves
every.
a suicide. We
Yes.
literally called it a suicide. We would just go down the row, a little bit of everything. And we did that for years growing up. It was a
So
big
it's
deal.
like that, but then they also go to the coffee part and are like a pump of vanilla cream and a pump of whatever. And let's throw some fruit in there as well.
I do not want this.
I'm just like, dude, those things are like so many calories and whatever too, as well. I'm like, that's
Well, they're
whatever.
getting all the sugar free, so they're probably losing some of the calories that way, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
Not good.
So Taylor gets in a thing with her new boyfriend post divorce. I will say this. They all talk about their kids. We don't see a lot of their kids. Like they're not on camera doing so Taylor gets drunk, which they're not supposed to do, and her boyfriend is Mormon, so he's already like upset, and then they get the cops called on him. I swear to God, The cops are there. They're arresting her. And she's like, he scared me so bad I peed my pants. Look.
No.
And then she's like, yeah, I threw the metal chairs at him after that because I peed my pants. So that's like episode 1. Yeah. And then like the real season actually starts like 6 months after that. She's on probation. Like there's a couple of times where they're doing like, a girls' night or whatever. And Taylor's like, well, I can't go because she can't be in bars and such like this.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So then Whitney is the one who had the grinder scandal. And
this was also depicted in some of the TikToks that I saw. So do tell.
Yes. Okay. So the official story is that her husband was on Tinder just talking to other people. They're not very clear if it's men or women. He was sending pics back and forth, receiving pics, things like this, but he didn't ever actually act on anything. Like he never met up with anyone. But Reddit, this all broke because someone on Reddit was like, Connor's on Grindr. And then they kind of just flipped that, and because Grindr's just gay guys.
Yes.
And I haven't been on Grindr. I also haven't been on Tinder. So I don't know, but there was something about like the pictures where they were like, you can't just send random pictures through Tinder. That's for sure Grindr. Because apparently Grindr, they can send like unsolicited dick pics.
Wow. Yeah, I think Tinder, you can't send photos on Tinder. You can only see the photos that are on the profile. And if you want to send the person more photos, you either have to load them to your profile or you have to like message off of Tinder.
Yeah. So when it came out that like, oh, he was sending pics and whatever, people were like, well, wait a minute, you can't. That's
yeah.
So then Whitney left, moved her family to Hawaii, and then missed Mom Talk so much that they came back 2 months later. Just,
Is she back? Is she reconciled with the husband?
Yes. Yeah. It's, there's a lot of, and I don't really want to get into this part because like, I don't want to, but there's this whole thing where like in the Mormon culture, they can have like SSA, like same sex attraction. And it doesn't mean that you're gay. It just means you're attracted to the same sex. You still have your wife and your family.
I don't know about it.
I kind of didn't,
and I don't want to like, I don't want to get too deeply into
that's why I'm like, I don't want to get into that real deep.
Yeah. I mean, I do have respect for the religion. I don't want to like mock that.
Yeah. And to be honest, I really seriously do love like the original idea of Mom Talk was like, let's let people know that like Mormons are just normal people. Like,
yeah, I love that actually.
And they're like, we're not going to take down the patriarchy, but like, let's kind of butt heads with it a little bit and let's, empower women and stuff.
Here for that.
The one who's really, really into that is Demi. And like there was, so I'm kind of just going to be all over the place telling you these things.
Yeah.
So like Demi was hosting Galentine's party and they were getting ready and it was like Whitney and I can't remember 2 of the others. And also there's like 3 or 4 of them that look very, very similar. And I can't always tell them. So, but there had been this story about fruity cereals and some kind of a sex act with her husband. Yeah. So she's hosting this Galentine's party and she's the one who's like very woke and she's, she's like, we're going to do this. Like, she's the one who says things like, we're empowering each other and, we're, going against the patriarchy and we're breaking down norms and whatever. And they give her a big, huge box of Fruity Pebbles. And she's like, it's fine. I didn't make it very clear that the intention of the evening was women empowerment. She's like, it's fine. And also, her husband doesn't know that she told everyone.
Oh, no.
All these, like, they're having their Galentine's party, but like, it's the women in one room and then all the husbands and boyfriend, like, they're all in another room. So she's like all upset. Whitney's like, what? What did I do? They do stuff like, they're like, hey guys, let's do a truth box. Okay, what is that? It's where you can write anonymous stuff and we just like read it out loud and it'll be like,
this is never a good idea.
My God. I mean, for sure the producers are
Except
like,
for viewers
yeah.
of reality TV shows, then it's a great idea.
Yeah, because one of them has on her TikTok, she has what she calls Sinner Sundays, and people write in completely anonymously. They'll write in a confession of something sinful that they've done. And sometimes it's like, I had an extra large vanilla latte. But most of the time, it's more specific, and it's like, the last time Demi was out of town, I had sex with her husband. And
Oh, no.
yeah. Two, at least two of them have been called out through Sinner Sundays where the one was like about Taylor's boyfriend. And it's like, I accidentally had sex with Dakota.
No.
Taylor's like, how did you accidentally have sex with them? And then, yeah, Dakota denies everything forever. He's like, no, all I ever did was kiss this girl, blah, 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 you know. Yeah. So Sinner Sunday comes into it because people are like, uh, how did you feel about that confession or whatever? Some of it is like one of them was like, I can't even remember who they asked. Why do you not like Taylor? I think it was to me or Jess. One of them is like, I mean, I think you're trashy. And Taylor is like, well, what about me is trashy? And well, the swinging thing, that was trashy.
This is so much more than I expected.
Oh my God. I haven't even started to talk about the labiaplasty. Okay, so um I think it was Jesse, but I can't remember. If people watch this show and I'm getting the
A lot
people
of
wrong,
people watch it. I was getting my hair done today, and she was talking about it.
which also I do believe you have the Mormon blowout. It looks really good. So this girl invites all her friends and the reality TV cameras to a little like artsy place, one of those like sip and draw things or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, "So, ladies, my my meat curtains are."
Meat curtain? And I've heard some trashy things, like,
Her meat curtains are they're overwhelmingly large. So she's getting a labiaplasty. So if everyone could just draw your own perfect vagina so that I have something to show to my surgeon, like drawing their perfect. The one girl's like, I think I need to go in the bathroom and look for a minute. Yeah. And they all like,
even do you think the producers even knew that this is how outrageous it would be when they, like, teed this up?
they could not have known.
Like, how could you even imagine, like, could everyone please draw out their perfect vagina so I can show it to my surgeon?
Yeah.
The surgeon already knows what a perfect vagina looks
I
like. He's
know.
done this.
She's
Or
like,
she.
just, so I can have some inspiration and what. She also, when she's doing that, she's like, oh, I've never done this where I had two surgeries in one day. She does get her boobs adjusted, which I like, do whatever you want to your boobs. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
So, and then her friends all come over and she's like laying in her bed and she's like, do you want to see it? And they're like, yeah, actually we do. So
Wait, do you want to see it, the vagina or the boobs?
the vagina. And she's like, it still is a little swollen. I mean, they all were like, yeah, we kind of do. I don't know if they saw it.
Sure. I mean, if it was you or Megan, I think I would probably say yes also.
I also think I probably would want to see it beforehand. If when you're saying things like meat curtains, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need the baseline.
Yeah, we're gonna need some reference here first.
Oh,
What was the starting point on this? Okay.
exactly.
Like, it might look gorgeous now, but I need to know where you started.
Yeah. Um, I mean, fantastic supporting your friends like that. They, like came over, brought her the dirty sodas, told her all the gossip that had happened at whatever.
Oh my God.
It's so good. Okay, so Taylor.
They have even imagined that this is what they were getting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after they filmed that one episode that had to have been basically like a trial where
Mhm.
like Taylor got arrested and the arrest was for like domestic violence. And apparently there was maybe something about a child. Like they weren't very clear on it. I mean, she's like drunk crying to the officer,
Yeah.
I peed
Yeah.
myself. What? Yes, I threw the metal chairs at him. I mean, they had like the reality show is showing the body cam footage.
Oh my God. Oh
So
my
my
God.
guess is like they're like, well, let's see if this will be anything, and then they film that episode, and they're like, this is going to be something.
Because most of this wasn't No, did anyone know about this from the Mom Talk stuff?
No, like they knew they got the show because there was like the swinger scandal and all that stuff. So
Okay.
they knew it was going to be like juicy, but no, they
Do you
didn't.
want to see my labioplasty juicy? I don't know.
Yeah, nobody was. So, okay, one of the other things, because I sent you a text partway through and I was like, do you get laughing gas when you're doing Botox? Because like I haven't done Botox.
Yes, you did ask me this.
So Whitney said like 6 times. I mean, it's no additional charge. It's no, it's no additional charge. Why would you not?
Feel very confident that if the person that does my Botox is a nurse practitioner. Her name is Rachel. If I went to Rachel and I was like, hey, can you get me nitrous oxide before she would be like, what do you know? And now you don't even get Botox. Like, you're out, Jennifer.
I couldn't tell if it almost seemed like the one girl is in a chair, and I was like, are they just because then there's like 4 of them on like a ledge or counter or whatever in the room, and I'm like, do they just have the nitrous oxide just free flowing into the room or what? I mean, and these like again, they don't drink like a couple of them, but like not really. Like
Mm-hmm.
they'll have like a glass of Taylor getting drunk was kind of a one-time thing,
Yeah.
So they're like at the one girl, they're like, this is why you get it. I can't remember who it was, but it's like her first time. And they're like, this is why you get it. This is so, and she's like, I feel it now. P.S. The chick's done injecting her by the time she feels it. They're all in the room and they're like, you're going to love this. This is why we all get Botox all the time. Like, so we can get the laughing gas.
In and out in 5 minutes. And I actually get a lot of Botox because I'm like much older than these girls. Like, I get a lot of units of Botox. And I literally, from the time that she like uses the, alcohol swabs all over my face, does all the injection, well, loads it up, then does all the injection, and I pay, it could literally be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, there is not time to get nitrous oxide.
No, and then they like give it to her and then do the stuff like right after. So like you said, I mean, like they're done by the time it kicks in.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's so just
I've literally never. And I've had Botox in like a lot, like I've had Botox in at least 3 different states.
yeah. I mean, I
This
was
is
like, you've
not
been doing
normal.
it for a
This
long
is not normal.
apparently in Utah it is.
Interesting.
Okay, let me see what else. Oh, okay. So there was this whole thing at the end of season 1. They did a girls' trip to Vegas and they went to like a Chippendale show, but they did the VIP package.
I have definitely seen some some influencers mock this Chippendale situation. Like,
Yeah.
this is high news. Like, this is
Yeah. Um, so they're like the one girl is like, I don't know. I don't want to post and be in any pictures. And they're like, well, you can't even tell where we are. We're sitting at a table eating burgers. Like you can't tell that this is Chippendales. They did like go backstage before the show and whatever. And I think the only one who like touched him was the one was single at that time, but the one girl who her scandal in season 2, a lot of it was about like, well, her name's Jen, but her husband's last name is Affleck, and
that's
she's
unfortunate.
well, so she's like, I'm Jen Affleck, like da 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 da, and she's like, no, they're like second or third cousins or whatever. And then in season 2, her husband Zach is like, no, I've told you, like, I don't think I'm related to Ben Affleck. And that's like, she's like, your family has been telling me that for 6 years.
No.
And he's like, no. So then everyone's like salty about it. And they're like, I mean, she just needs to own up if she's not related to Ben Affleck. Because and all she ever said was she was like, I mean, I think my husband's like second cousins with him or something. Like she makes jokes about it, but she's not like, oh, I've met, when they're like, have you met?
Right.
She's like, no, I haven't met him. Like,
Right. Oh my
um,
gosh.
yeah, that was a whole thing. So, but Zach was really mad at her and was like going to leave her.
Zach is her husband, Zach
Yes.
Affleck. Okay.
Yeah, Zach Affleck.
Okay.
So, yeah, like he was going to leave her and their kids over this Chippendales thing. And she didn't even stay. She was like, I didn't touch any of them. I didn't even stay for the show. Like I came because again, like Taylor couldn't be there. What because they were kind of like, what else did he want you to do? Like
Yeah.
they didn't. I can't remember who organized it, if it was Whitney or Demi or one of them organized it, but Jen was not the organizer. And it literally was a surprise that they were going to Chippendales and that they had this VIP package. So the way she handled it, they were all like, I don't know what else he thinks you were supposed to have done.
Yeah.
Like you figured out what it was and you left. You wouldn't
Yeah.
even let, like she was the one who was like, I don't even want my to be in the picture. And they were like, it's
Yeah.
a table, So then in season 2, I think it
Oh
was
my
like
God, this is all season 1.
yeah,
It's only 8 episodes.
it's so good. The Halloween party of season 2 was 2 episodes alone. So first of all, for the Halloween party, Jessie, who's the one who does all their hair, and she like owns a salon and whatever. So she and her husband are having the Halloween party. She decides to invite her friend Kate, who is now dating Chase, who is the guy who was swinging with his then wife and who caught feelings for Taylor. And
No.
yeah, and Taylor's in this very messy thing with her boyfriend, Dakota, her baby daddy, Dakota. So,
Does she have children with the ex-husband?
yes, she has
Okay.
2 kids with Tate, or I think that with the husband, and then she got pregnant with Dakota's baby, like I think
Okay.
in the end of season 1.
Okay. Back
So
on track. I got it.
yeah. Okay, so first of all, they did like the costumes, amazing.
Mhm.
I can't remember again, I can't keep track of who's who and all this, but like I know Taylor dressed up as Gretchen Wieners in the cat suit from Mean Girls, and then someone else was Regina George. Like they dressed up as
If you don't know, I have never seen Mean Girls.
okay, well that's
I know.
they dressed up as them. It was very, very cute. But Jen and Zach Affleck were like, we're going to dress up as J-Lo and Ben.
So that's a little weird.
So wait. So they're dressed up as Ben Affleck and like a hoodie. I mean, like the guy, of course, like that's a fucking dream costume.
Yeah.
Just put on a
Yeah.
hoodie and an annoyed face. The girl, Jen, is dressed in like a really cute, like totally like J-Lo, like
Yeah.
Jenny from the block, like with the bandana, the cute little crop top.
Mhm.
So cute. They show up and Jessie and her husband are also dressed
No.
as J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
No, they are
And
not.
Jessie is fucking killing it in the Versace barely there dress thing.
Ooh.
Yes. And her husband is in like a Dunkin' Donuts thing. Like they kind of did it better. I mean, it's
Oh
like so
no.
much stuff like that you're just like you didn't know that they were going to dress up as J-Lo and Ben Affleck, but like if someone was going to, it's probably the person who says that they're related to Ben Affleck.
Right.
Uh, they were, yeah, that was so good. I mean, and I was just like, I mean, both of them looked good, but I'm gonna say that that
Yeah.
dress,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you win.
Uh, so, and then there's like drama, because they, the whole Chippendales thing happened. Zach and Jen are back together working on things, but things are pretty rocky. Um, And Jesse and Demi decide that their husbands, partway through the party, are going to, with an actual Chippendales dancer, are going to do like a lap dance for Jen as like exposure therapy for Zach. We're doing this.
What?
The whole, like, the filming of it is like this little, like the angle where it's like you can barely see Jen's reaction and she's just kind of like in the chair looking cute with her little bandana and crop top and stuff. And she's like trying to like not touch anything or whatever. But Zach is just watching her and you can just see like he's trying to not show the steam coming out of his ears, but it's unsuccessful. It totally is. There was the Halloween party. There also was like a thing. Chase was like leaving and you couldn't see from the camera angles and whatever, but he said something to Demi and apparently like pushed on her stomach or whatever. And she like runs to her husband and is like, he just put hands on me.
Oh my
Her
God.
husband is out in the front yard dressed as a
No.
Chippendale, out in the front. You touch my wife. And then his little Chippendale friend, Jesse's husband, is like, take ownership, man. Take ownership. He's
No.
like in the guy's face. And the Chase is like, I wasn't, he's like, he walked past her and he was like, where's your husband or something like that. And she had like, she was actually dressed up as Fruity Cereal. So she had like one of those like big, not plasticky, like,
Mm-hmm.
so like it didn't look like it was like he put hands on her, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But all that's going on. Jen later, like one of the later episodes where they're reflecting back on that, and because Demi's like, he touched me against my consent, da da da. Jen's like, well, what about Jason rubbing his tiny penis all over me?
She's not wrong.
She's like, I didn't consent for that,
So I love that you're in love with this show. Gonna be real, like I'm like, oh, I don't even have interest anymore. Like you just gave it all to me, which is great. But I'm
Yeah,
like, this is like so much over the top. Like I can't. Like I just can't with this.
I know. Yeah, that's the best of it.
That's a lot.
Yes, I cannot wait for season 3.
Oh my God. So, in other news for female empowerment, did you see the thing about the Sports Illustrated swimsuit catwalk thing that they did
No.
recently? So Sports Illustrated has tried to like change their image and do
Yeah.
more inclusive. Like they had Martha Stewart on the cover a couple of years ago. Alona Mar, who I love, the rugby player that went viral during the Olympics.
Yeah.
She's so cool and very, very, very active in the body positivity situation. So Alona Mar was there. They had a lot of athletes this year. Like they had that girl Olivia Dunn, who's a gymnast, a college gymnast. They had anyway. I don't remember who all they had, but they had a lot of female athletes, and they really were like trying to showcase like strong bodies. But probably somebody who you know more about than I do, Bethany Frankel was there. If you have, okay, first of all, let me clarify this by saying I am aware of who Bethany Frankel is on a very mild level. I know that she's in her mid 50s. I know that she's originated in some reality
Housewives or
TV.
something. Yeah.
I don't even know, something. And I know that she's tried to kind of like rebrand herself, I think a couple of times. I really don't know. You need to look up Bethany Frankel at 56 years old on the catwalk. She
Was she
looks,
amazing?
she was amazing. She looks better than almost everybody else. She was extremely confident. And I will say, whatever pep talk they gave to these girls, or maybe they really selected a lot of women who are just very confident. Like Alona Mar really spends a lot of time saying, like, I don't have imposter syndrome. Like, I think the fame and the success that I have, I think I have earned it. She was like, I don't struggle feeling like I don't deserve what I have. I
Yeah.
am confident in my body. My body is extremely strong and I am extremely proud of it. And so like Ilona Mar like owned the catwalk. Like she's phenomenal on so many levels. I love everything about her. But Bethany Frankel, first of all, she could dance too, which I don't like I didn't yeah, she can dance. She trotted. She's a skinny little thing. Well, okay, I thought that she was a skinny little thing. She's extremely muscular, like extremely muscular. She
Really?
looks like what I wish I looked like after going to the gym all the time the way I do and lifting weights. She is incredible. Like I was like, I might be a little bit of a fan right now. And then she took some heat over it because people were like, I guess she has a daughter, and I don't know how old the daughter is. She didn't say, but she's like, I think I read that she's 56. I think this week I read that she's 56. So her daughter's not 15. Well,
Yeah.
maybe, but not likely. But actually, maybe she is. I don't know. But people were like, I mean, you're out there in a string bikini with a thong, and what does your daughter think? And she was like, my daughter was really proud of me. She was like, my daughter was literally so proud of me for like having the confidence to do this, for showing what a 56-year-old body can look like, and for just like working hard enough to have achieved that. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's a level of fame that you have to get to be invited for something like that. And yeah, she was like, my daughter was really proud of me, and I'm proud to have my daughter see me do that. So I was like into that. I was super into that. And you should look it up. I think
I'm gonna look it up.
Ilona Maher actually had a TikTok. The way I saw it the first time was Ilona Maher had a photo of her in a tiny bikini, and she was like, "You think I'm not tough? Well, you'll never be." What did she? She was basically like, "You think I'm not tough? Well, you'll never be Sports Illustrated swimsuit model on my period, walking the catwalk tough or something, something like that." So
I
basically she
love
was on her period when she did it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There were some good stories. They definitely, and I don't like, I didn't watch the whole thing, so all I've seen is whatever comes across my TikTok or whatever. So it could have been a lot more people than what I saw, but they had a lot of female athletes on there, like a lot of very non-traditionally strong and beautiful bodies, not what Sports Illustrated was doing for all those years. Not the
good.
kinds of
I love
bodies they were
that.
inviting all those years. And then there were a couple of women that were pretty plus sized. There was one woman, and she was like, she had some jiggly parts, which were it was pretty hot,
Yeah.
in a very tiny bikini. And again, like, I don't know what pep talks they gave to everybody in the back, but everybody looked like they felt so good, and they looked like they were having so much fun, and no one walked out with any kind of apprehension. Like, everyone just walked out like, this is me, and there's
Love
nothing
that.
hidden. There's nothing hidden in a
Yeah.
swimsuit. So it was pretty cool. You should look it up and see. I'm not saying I'm going to be a Bethany Frankel fan, but I'm also not saying I'm not going to be, because I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Like, she's got to be, I know she has access to a lot of money, and like the fake boobs are very apparent on her. She's a very tiny, skinny body, and the fake boobs are, pronounced. But that body I know what it takes to have that body. That body comes from a lot of hard work, and it was strong. Like, you can see her. She is strong. Like, I was really jealous.
Yeah. Well, I think her body type is very similar to yours, where she
I think
is
so.
a thinner frame and
Yeah.
whatever. So for her because she is one of the people that, like, if she eats a big pasta lunch, then people will like get pictures and be like of her in a bikini and. So I think she probably does have to work really hard to,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
and some of that is stuff like you can get fake boobs, but you still can't buy fake muscles.
You cannot no, and you could see, again, like, she has the kind of definition that I'm working toward. And I'm sure, they did the body makeup. I'm sure they
Sure.
accentuated the things, but I mean, her shoulders, her arms, her back, her butt, like, not like you could see the glute muscles in her butt and in her legs. Like, for somebody who is probably pretty naturally thin, she works really hard for that body. And like you said, you can't fake that. That comes from hard work and
Yeah.
diet. I mean, you also have to eat a really specific diet to be like that. The good thing is, like, you don't have to restrict yourself to be like that. You have to eat
Yeah.
enough protein and you have to eat enough calories, but you don't have to eat salads with,
Right.
and skip meat. Like, you don't have to do that, and you don't have to skip fat either. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. I would look it up.
So what is Kelsey Whitmore? Was she by any chance in it? She's my
No,
favorite female athlete.
no, but she's in season right now.
That's
Like,
true,
she
she is.
wasn't there. None of the basketball players were there because, again, like, they're all in. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
they asked or if they tried, but the basketball players are all in season. So, like, I'm not saying they would have had Caitlin Clark, but none of the female basketball players were there. There were a couple of, I think Jordan Childs was there from the Olympic gymnastics team.
Mhm.
I think she was there. I didn't see any swimmers.
Was Brittany Mahomes there this year?
I didn't see her. She was there last year. They had Brittany Mahomes on there, and she also is another one. Like, I think she's a very thin, naturally thin person. I know she's an athlete, and like in her personal life, I know she's an athlete. But she's another one. Like, she has to work hard for that body. Like, that does not come easily, and she has children, you know?
Oh my
So,
god,
like,
she, like
yeah.
with the first baby, she had, like, a reel that was, like, her doing, like, squats or whatever with weights while she was growing. Her belly got bigger and bigger and bigger, and
Mhm.
then, like, the belly is mostly gone, but then she's holding a baby and still I'm like, "The baby is,
Yeah.
like, 4 days old, and you're
Yeah.
out there doing freaking lunges and squats?"
Yeah, I think she's pretty incredible, and I think, like, I've not always been a fan of Brittany Mahomes, I'll be the first to admit that. I have definitely come around to liking her a lot, but I think she's pretty incredible. I mean, that's a lot of dedication. She had 3 children in a very a very small window,
Yes.
and that will wreak havoc on your body, your bladder, your boobs, your stomach, every muscle in your body.
Oh my gosh, I really one of the things that, kind of made me start coming around and liking her was I think it was after the second one. It wasn't after the first. Yeah, after she had Bronze, the second child, she talked a lot and did reels about like these are things specifically to help your pelvic floor. Like if
Yeah,
you're having babies, if you're not having C-sections and you're pushing them, like you have to do this.
yeah.
And she was kind of open about it, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I think I think it's easy to look at her and think like that's money. She does have access. Like she has a home gym. So she doesn't have to leave the gym and check the kids into a daycare at the gym and, watch them, So I think there are advantages. I don't know if they have a chef, but I think a lot of the football players do have a chef so that they are, eating well. So, I mean, there are advantages that money gives her for some of that, but I think I she looks like she's a very slim, maybe bordering on skinny body naturally, and she never looks that way. She looks like she works really hard. So I give her credit for it. It's not easy to do. It's really easy to be like, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or to
I
cut it
think she
short, I go to the gym a lot, and on days when I'm not feeling it, like, I still try to get myself there, but then maybe I'll only work out for 30 minutes or even 20 sometimes, and it's like, well, it's better than nothing, but, like, that's not you don't grow a body like Bethany Frankel's by cutting it short.
right. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to, like, put something on here that there's, like, spoilers to the Mormon
Yes.
Housewives show.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to get that on there.
For sure. Yes. Because, and I'm sure that there was other things that other people that their jaws hit the floor.
Sure.
Those are the bit like the labiaplasty one for me. And it wasn't
Mhm.
like, I don't care that she got the labiaplasty. It was the thing beforehand where she's like announcing it to all her friends and she's like, so draw your perfect vagina. Who thinks of that?
A surgeon has seen a lot of vaginas. Like, doesn't he like I
I
would
would think. Yeah.
you get your boobs done, like they'll like do you want tall and or do you want like a little bit of hang to them or do you want them like close together, far but like I know you get choices.
Yeah. Um, it was it's good
That's a
stuff.
lot. That is a lot. Okay, I gotta cook dinner. My son is out here and I'm sure he's just like, Jesus, how many times are they gonna say labiaplasty?
Right. Poor Sam. Yeah. So tune in next week when we'll be talking about God only knows what.
Not labiaplasty. I
Yeah.
do know that.
Yeah. That's we've covered it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Jen. Love you.
Okay. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.